Today I'm going to show you how to check front brakes or front disc brakes. And this is very important. Remember, we're checking the brakes on a vehicle that's going to be on the road, and we have to do it seriously and as accurately as we can. Your job will be to assess the three things I outlined and then report to the instructor whether you think the vehicle or the wheel, that the axle that you checked needs a brake job or not, and why. And I'm requiring you to check three things. Excuse me. Well, number one thing you check is the thickness of the brake pads, and they're very hard to see in most vehicles on camera. But if we look here, we can see the rotor. So we identify the rotor, and we have to identify the backing, the steel backing, which, if we show you, that's the steel backing, and you can see the pad that is bonded onto it. So we have to identify the rotor, and we have to identify the steel plate that the pads are bonded onto. And you should get a light and look at the rotor, and if the rotor's, you can't see it, you turn it a bit and then you can see it, and then the pad, and we see this is about 80% to 90% of the pad remaining. Now as the pad wears, you can see a brand new pad. As the pad wears, the last 1/8 inch wears very quickly. So the last 1/8 inch isn't 12% or 20%. It is deemed 10% or 5%, because it'll wear very quickly and cause damage to the brake system. So that's the first thing you check. The next thing you check, and this is fairly easy, is whether the rotor turns. There'll be some drag on it, but whether it turns relatively easy. And that tells you that the caliper, which is right here, it's the caliper, and the caliper brackets here, that the caliper piston, which is hydraulic, is not seized, and that the sliding pins, which on this system is located here and here, are also not seized or causing any kind of problem. So this one moves fairly easy. The third thing you check,
look at this flex line right at the top. It's going to become dangerous very quickly. Another problem you can look for is a twisted brake line. It's not as common, but it still can happen.
and this is extremely important, well, it's all extremely important, is the flex line. And I prefer you get a light so you can see, unless you've got good ambient light from the, and you look for any damage or cracks or whatever in the entire flex line. And we see this one is just fine. But we do find quite a few that the outer casing is cracked, and that means contaminants can get underneath and start eating at the structure of the flex line. Of course, you'll see lines on rotors. That doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. We cannot easily check whether it's warped or not. So we concentrate on the three things that I have mentioned. You then make a decision whether it needs a brake job or not, and explain that decision to the instructor. Thank you very much.